Here we go. We're going to go ahead and find parabola features given the graph. So as we look at this, we have a focus of 1, -7, a directrix of y equals -5. It's in the dotted line here. What can be said about the parabola? It looks like we're looking for a vertex and p-value and which direction it opens. Okay, so let's see. Well, we always know that it's halfway between the vertex is halfway between the focus and the directrix. So that means this vertex, V-E-R-T-E-X, is at, the x value is 1. The y value is -6. Okay, and then it always faces away from the directrix, the parabola, so it can never touch the directrix. So it would be something like that, and the focus is kind of in that cradle aspect of it. Okay, the p-value is half that distance from the focus to the directrix, or I like to think about it from the vertex to the focus, or from the vertex to the directrix. So that's just 1 unit right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our answers. 1, -6, p-value of 1. And it opens down. It faces, the open is facing down. Got it. Let's try the next one. Find parabola features without graph. Well, that's a trick. You do need to graph it to kind of help you get through this. So I'll draw the graph of what this is saying, and then I'll use that information to help me answer the questions here. So parabola can be drawn with a focus of -2, -3. Okay, so we got the x and y axis. This is my x. This is my y. So we got x is 1, 2, y is 1, 2, 3. There we are there for a focus. So that's the focus right there. Keep that in mind. A directrix of x equals -8. There's only one variable here, x. So that is a line that only hits x at -8. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. -8 is right there. And we usually use a dashed line to represent a directrix. All right, and that's a -2 for that part right there. So we can see the parabola is going to face to the right, but all we really need to do is kind of help calculate some of these values here. So let's see. Let's go ahead and attack it using some math here. So let's find out where it hits on the x-axis, or where the vertex is. So the vertex on the x-axis is the average of those values. So -8 plus -2, the average of that divided by 2. So that's -10 over 2, which is equal to -5. And we can just kind of check to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. -5 for part of the vertex. And it does look like that's about halfway between. So it always kind of matches with the focus where it's at. So in this case, we're matching with the y values here. Okay. So now let's go ahead and answer a few more of the questions, or draw it a little bit more too. So we know that it's going to be facing something like this as a parabola, faces away from the directrix. And the next thing we need is a p-value. P-value, looks like we're almost done here. And that's this distance right here. So let me go ahead and use a different color. This distance right here, or this distance right here, is the p-value. That's the same. Those are the p-values. Okay? Which is just half of that total distance. So from -2 to -5 is 3 units, or from -5 to -8 is also 3 units. So that turns out to be 3. That looks like most of what we need. Oh, let's just go ahead and add that vertex aspect to it. So the vertex right there, the vertex, E-R-T-E-X, has an x value of -5, and then it matches the y value here, -3. All right, that should be everything we need for this one. Parabola has a vertex at -5, -3. The p-value is 3 units, and it is opening to the right. The open side is open, facing to the right. Check. And then definitely kind of go through some of the little information they have, helping to explain it a little bit more in detail. Last problem set here. All right. So let's see. Working on white screen. Got it. Cool. Okay. So it wants a parabola can be drawn given a focus of -7, 9. There's the focus. A directrix of y equals 5. There's that. Write the equation of the parabola in any form. Well, we need the generalized equation here. So this is something that I've encouraged you to write down in your cheat sheet. So on Vertex Forms, our equation is y equals 1/4p, and then the general one, this one you should probably have memorized, x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. All right. So, and then our vertex is going to be the hk portion. So vertex is h comma k. Okay. And p is the distance from our vertex to the directrix, or vertex to the foci or focus. All right. So notice we got the -h right here. That means it's the opposite of whatever this is when we actually plug it in. All right. So let's go ahead and start getting through it. So first thing I want to do is find kind of where that vertex is at. Remember, it's halfway between these 2 points. So that means it's right here. And we can calculate it too if we wanted to. That's at a 9, and that's at a 5. So that's 4 units between. So that means it's 2 units up from this 5. So that's at 7 for the y value. It has the matching x value here. So that's a -7 on that one. So the vertex, we got that already. Nice. The vertex is a -7, comma, the k value is +7. All right. Next, we can go ahead and just draw like a generalized parabola here. So it looks like that. The dilation might be a little bit bigger or smaller on it. That's okay. We're just doing it in general because all we want is the equation here. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and our p-value. Our p-value is either this value or that value. Remember, it's the same. So those values right there, that value. So p is equal to, how much was it? It was 2. We just talked about that. So that's everything we need. We need our p. We got our p, we got our h, and we got our k. Now we just go ahead and plug everything into the formula. So let's do blue. All right. So it's going to be y equals 1/4 times our p value is 2. And then our x minus whatever this number is. So the x value is -7. The trick is it's an opposite idea. So x plus 7. It's the opposite of whatever that one is, plus the k value. K is the y that it ended up at, 7 on that one for the y. So I just simplify a little bit. Y equals 1 over 8. Oh, almost forgot my squared there. That's what makes it a polynomial. X is squared. X plus 7. Luckily, we don't have to simplify this all the way out. We want it in this form that helps us be able to graph it. All right, I believe that 1 over 8 makes it a little bit wider than our normal x squared equation. All right, so let's go ahead and plug everything in and see how we did. All right, y equals 1 divided by 8, parenthesis, x plus 7. And do we have a way of squaring that? Let's see. There it is right there. And plus 7 on the end. All right, let's see how we did. Yep, got it. No problems. And then let's see if it is wider, like I was thinking. 1 over 8 means it grows at a slower rate. And yes, that's a wider function than our normal x squared equation. And remember, like I said, here's our two forms. These are things that you have to have written down and memorized.